we started doing a lot of things before marriage.
Yeah.
And you have your various reasons. You fall deeply, you fall in love. We're not trying to say you're bad or you're evil because you do that. We did it.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? A lot of that time spent kind of prepared us for marriage because we kind of got to see how each other reacts to certain things, and just kind of feel each other's vibe, in certain things, because I know one thing with me, just getting married, which I know that's how we're taught, you get married, then you stay together and you do all that stuff, you get a place together. But
that's the right way.
That's the right way, But I will admit, part of me, I wanted to know, okay, what is it going to be like to wake up to Monique? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. How is her breakfast, in the morning? How is her dinner, at night? You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's food sometimes, okay?
I know. I'm talking about the food right now. I know. Hey, that's important to me. I'm sorry. Okay? It's important, okay? What's up, everyone? What's up? Hopefully prayerfully y'all are doing well this wonderful, great day. Thank you for tuning in, right? How you doing, my love, my queen?
Yes, I'm doing well by God's grace.
Amen. Amen. All right. Yeah, shout out to DJ Frosty for this wonderful beat, man.
Thank you,
we
brother.
Still rocking it. We still rocking it, man. So what's new, my love? How you doing this wonderful day?
I'm well by God's grace. This week I think we've been pulling the family through just a little bit of, sickness, a little bit of the boys. Thank God, our baby girl has been good. Just kind of the sniffles with her.
Yeah.
Right. Me even just a little bit. You could probably hear it in my voice. You already know I don't get much rest. And,
we know. We working on that,
This is the season of my life where it's very minimal. And for you, you're a little under 2, but you're getting over it too. So it's just a family. The boys had a little bit of like a stomach bug or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of pulling everybody through, but we are here by God's grace.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
So we are doing wonderfully well, and we pulled through. Mm-hmm. All right.
Amen.
So now we're here. We're able to record. So that's the thing. Back with another episode.
Yes, we are back at it again.
How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I be having some times, where I'm just like, trying to still seek out that purpose God has for me. But
you know what it is.
Well,
seek out. You already know. God has been showing you how many times now.
Look at you.
Come on, seek and you shall find.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
And I believe you've already found.
I found
your
it.
purpose.
So I guess I'm just trying to see how God wants me to move forward. I guess is probably the better way. But I'm doing great. I'm blessed. Favored, and I'm grateful to be here. I got a beautiful wife, a beautiful family. So you know what I'm saying?
We are blessed.
Beautiful career. I'm blessed and favored.
Amen.
So
Amen.
Thankful. So prayerfully you all are doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
We're super excited. Season 4 is here. Can't believe it's been 4 years,
Wow, right?
for this podcast. So thank you so much for the support. This is a very, nice podcast. And originally, for those that don't know, we originally started this podcast so we could start, expressing things that God was bringing us through in our own journey. We brought a child. We was blessed to bring a child into the world that had his own journey, and this was a great outlet for us to share our journey and to encourage other parents and other brothers and sisters out in the world, through their own journey. So I'm super excited of what has transpired for our podcast together, So
amen.
Super excited. So our topic, right? We have this wonderful topic for this wonderful session. It's called, let me get this name right, Fools Rush In. Mm-hmm. Wow. So give it up for Fools Rush In. Woo. What a topic, my love.
Yes, I think that might be the name of a movie, actually.
It is, I think. Okay. I think maybe a song, too, I think so.
Definitely in the Bible, fools rush in where angels fear to tread.
Wow. Or look at you.
Was that just an old adage?
I don't know.
Might be an old
I was like, that's in the Bible thing? I was like, you have to show me later. Shoot.
Listen, I'm going to find it right now.
You show me later. Okay?
I've heard that so much growing up. So, it's just something that has stuck with me. Yeah. So, I've heard that a lot.
Okay.
Have you?
I mean, I know the song, I know the movie, So I guess I heard it a lot that way, So,
I'm gonna double check myself, but I've heard fools rush in where angels fear to tread, which means you're rushing in as a physical being where the spiritual beings, the angels, don't even want to go.
That's deep.
That's deep, right?
Yeah.
You rushing into the deep end, to the darkness. Where the angels, the light, where they don't even want to be.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we go places. Now, God would never leave us or forsake us, right? Yeah. And a lot of times we go places we know we shouldn't be, and there's nothing but darkness there.
Yeah.
And we still expect the light to be there with us. And it's like, why did you go in there? And then it's like, when something pops off, did you ask God for protection where you were? Did you want God to be with you in that particular space? And I'm not saying God is not there, because God is everywhere, right? God is omnipotent. But we're rushing into places where angels don't want to be. And we got to think about that, because we have guardian angels that are working tirelessly. All day. While we're sleeping, they are watching, making sure that we are safe. So why enter a place where, where our angel doesn't even want to be?
Yeah.
Making them uncomfortable.
Right.
Because they are already doing so much, but now we're making them uncomfortable. They're in a place that is like they literally have to fight like hundreds of demons, right? Because you're the only person of light there,
Wow.
So
that's
if
crazy,
it's a place that you should not be, you should stay away from, then don't go.
Yeah.
Especially if God is pulling on your heartstrings, don't go.
And you always get that feeling when you're in a place that you ain't supposed to be.
You'll feel it. You're like, nah, I better get out.
Right. Now, this happened recently. I know it's kind of not necessarily off topic, but remember we were at the park recently with the kids and walking around the woods, and it was this one path that we were going to check. It was a different path that it was like, okay, we have never been down this way. So we started to go because, love doing our walks, our nature walks with the kids. And the kids are just running ahead of us. And we like, Monique just started to feel something started feeling a little weird. I'm looking around, seeing bird feathers on the ground, and like, this just feels different. So let's just say we turned our butts around, told the kids, hey, come on back. We going back the other way.
Because, we're walking by a swamp with alligators. And here we are on a path that we're not familiar with.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like, hey, Mom, let's go. And they're like running. And we're like, okay.
Hold up.
All right. But as we are walking, we see feathers and we see like,
wait a minute now.
You just see stuff around you, and then you kind of see like the swampy area coming
right
closer.
Next to us. Yeah. Oof.
And I just like my spirit was not right. It just wasn't right. I don't like when I feel like that. Usually when I feel like that, that's me getting in tune with the spirit world, right? With the angels. And I just felt God telling me go the other way.
Yeah.
And of course they were running ahead, and I'm like, we had to yell, like, come back.
No, you need to stop. Turn back. Turn back.
And of course they were like, no, we want to go. You know, the kids. But no, you know, when God is telling you to turn back, who knows what was further down?
Oh yeah.
You know, and then we saw this gentleman saying that some of the alligators, they like to come out and get some sun, remember, that kind of thing, on a different pathway.
That was on a different,
but it's still like crazy. You just don't know where you're gonna see one, and then you don't want your child kids, running up on one. So I just felt that in my spirit, it just didn't feel right. So, you know, we're not gonna rush in, okay?
Right. No rushing in.
Yes, exactly.
So what inspired this topic? Fools rushing in. You know, this was one of the ones my love, you know, we talked about, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, by God's grace, we've been together now for 10 years. And we've been married for...
Give it up for that.
Praise God. Praise God. We've been married... We've been, like, our wedding anniversary will make 7 years. And I guess if you want to count the courthouse, is 8 years, right?
Courthouse.
So, I know, because a lot of people don't know we got married with the court system before the actual public wedding. It was a private
if you didn't know, now you
ceremony that we had. Just private. It was just, you know, a couple family members on each side. Mm-hmm. And our pastor who actually did our wedding, and that was it. Yeah. And we did that, you know, approximately like a year before we had our wedding. But I say that also to say there's a lot of marriages, a lot of couples that we have seen along our journey of love that didn't make it, right? And it was just kind of like, wow, what is happening, you know, to our friends, what's happening to our couples, what's happening to love out there, you know? And that's what made me question, like, you know, are we rushing in to, you know, be with someone and, you know, not necessarily putting God first, and making sure that it is a grounded decision in God, you know, because you don't want to rush into a lifetime partnership with someone, and you're unable to have God as the center of that. Like, you're not able to pray with the person. You're not able to go to church with the person. You're not able to speak about God, you know, with the person, or even about God to your children, or, you know, God isn't the forefront of the home, you know. So it just made me wonder, like, you know, what is, you know, happening to our couples, because I just felt like a lot of couples were giving up too quickly, you know, because we've been through a lot, okay?
Oh, yeah.
A lot. And we're still going through a lot. And it's been quite a journey of faith, where we probably should have broken. I mean, coming just with a child alone, taking a child through stuff, right? And then, of course, me leaving my career, which is like a big deal. You know what I mean? Because here we had the financial side of things now. So we just were, and then, you know, with marriage, of course, it's everything. It's emotional, physical, financial. So, you know, I just wanted to talk about that. Like, let's give some encouragement to the couples out there, because no matter what you're going through at the end of the day, if you're feeling like you're alone in your marriage, then the other side is likely feeling alone too. So you should talk about it. And if you're in a situation where you can't even talk or express yourself, then of course that's not the right situation for you. No. But you can still do the work, right? Yeah. Marriage does take work. It's not hard work. It's just work. I feel like it's loving work. You know, like I should take the time to find out how your day was at work. How's your day, babe? You know, I should take the time to find out how you're feeling today. You know, I should take the time to rub that oil on your back if you need me to. Right?
Okay, yeah. She did that tonight, y'all. Yeah.
I should take that time to give you that neck massage or
you can do that later.
You know what I'm saying? I should take the time to have the date night. I should take the time to schedule in, you know, your love sessions. Okay, we grown around here. All right. I mean, those don't have to be scheduled, but I'm just saying.
Like schedule those. Just let it happen.
Let's let it happen. Let's go. Exactly.
You gotta schedule.
But the reason why I said schedule is because
people have to.
Sometimes you may be on opposite schedules with your spouse, depending on your work schedule. Yeah. Whatever the case may be, you gotta set that time aside. Okay, so it does take work, but it's not. It shouldn't feel like it's cumbersome and overbearing, right? So. I know I spoke for a little while. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm like, I got you get on your little tangent, so I'll be like, I don't even know what was the question on this. I don't even know what was the question again.
What inspired this?
Oh, what inspired it? Yes, I know questions. Pretty much exactly what you said, my love. No, but we do often see, you know, couples giving up, you know, too quickly. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know necessarily what's going on in those households, but we do know pretty much in our sense, you know, the journey that we've been on, and it's, you know, it hasn't been an easy journey. We've had a lot of ups, though. God has shown us a lot of ups. We have had some downs, and we've had some in betweens. You know, you just feel blah, but through God's grace, we've been able to smile. We've been able to keep each other lifted. We've been able to get through, you know, every season, and we continue to get through. And it's, you know, because of God's grace. It's because we communicate. We're very great at communicating about everything, even when it's uncomfortable. We're communicating. And so I think that's very important when it comes to relationships. We find a lot of people have secrets. You know, you have a lot of secrets, and secrets are not good for a healthy marriage. And so, you know, we have to, you know, the communication is, I think, it's gotten us through a whole lot, just being able to communicate. And it could be something as easy as you having a situation. Maybe your parents said something and it didn't sit well with you. We talk about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, my mom said this, you know, and my wife always give me a perspective that lift the situation up. Well, mom didn't mean it that way, I'm sure. Maybe she meant it like this, you know. And so it's just always good to have that, your spouse in your ear when you're feeling a certain way about, you know, maybe something that was said. It could be something at work, you know. There's just examples that maybe was said or someone did something. Maybe it was a student, you know, and, you know, you talk to your spouse about that situation. It's like you're releasing it. So that makes a big difference when it comes to communication and just having a healthy marriage. If you can talk about the little problems, you can talk about the big problems, you know. It's no judgment, you know, we just get through it together. And we have things that come up all the time, things in the household that happens, you know, maybe in a sense, the toilet needs fixed, you know what I'm saying? We, you know, of course we talk about it, we put it before the Lord, and, you know, we may have to go through some things before we get it fixed, but eventually God allowed it to get fixed, and, you know, and we can move on. And it's kind of like it was never broken. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you go through things, you know, with the children, you know, it's always great to communicate about that stuff, you know, and just making sure we're on the same page about everything. So, yeah, so I truly feel that, you know, we see a lot of couples that are just giving up too easy. And so that's what inspired this. We want to and motivate our couples to hold on and to put God first in your relationship, in your marriage. And a lot of times we think marriage changes us. It changes things. It changes us, but we think it's going to make things better. If you're doing certain things, you know, in a relationship, just because you're married doesn't necessarily mean things are going to get better. You know, you got to continue to do the same things. And of course, we're talking about the great things, the good things that you do to keep your spouse happy. You got to continue to do those things even when you're married. And even when you get married, you should be hopefully elevating those things even more. So, you know, Monique still have a lot of things to learn about me, you know. Gotta do some elevating.
Great. I mean,
so I can't show you everything at once. You remember?
I've seen a lot though. It's been 10 years. I've
seen a lot. Okay? You ain't seen all though.
Well, that's great. I mean, I want it to stay exciting. You know, because we got a lifetime. I'm trying to learn something. I'm trying to learn something.
New. Just like you said, I think in our last podcast, just like God can't give you too much at once because your heart can't handle it. So I can't give you it all, baby. Okay? Your heart may not be able to handle it. You know what I'm saying?
You still having something back, baby.
Hey, you'll see. You'll see what's up. So moving along though on this wonderful topic, how do you think marriage? We kind of talked about this already, but how is marriage perceived in the world today? Do you think it's something that the world motivates now the way it used to be? Like for our parents and grandparents, like marriage was law. Do we feel it's still like that? In today's society?
No.
Something wrong with
really
that,
sad.
right?
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Because the thing is, we're doing everything that you're supposed to do in a marriage.
Yeah, we're doing it before the marriage. Yes.
So it's like, what's the point of the marriage?
Right.
That's how a lot of people feel.
Yeah.
They feel like a marriage will kind of tie up their assets, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or they have to share whatever it is they may have with somebody legally. They don't want to be legally bound to anybody, which doesn't make sense because, if anything were to happen to you, you should be thankful you have somebody that is now legally, held to the standard where they have to take care of you or, or legally appointed to take care of you, or look over your estate or whatever the case may be. But we're doing a lot of married folk stuff.
Yeah, early
before the marriage.
Yeah,
and I mean, we were.
Yeah,
we were glue. Okay, so Ron and I, when we reconnected, it was fire. Okay, it was flames.
Said fire. I don't have that button. Can't do that effect. I'm gonna have to put that. We may have to add that on here. Fire. What is fire?
It was flames. Okay, it was harps. Do you have some harps?
Fire. We don't have harp. We have
it was
like
a siren.
We have that.
Oh yes, that's what it was.
Good.
Yes. Okay.
Wait. Wow. What was all that like? Yes. You okay? All right, love. Wow.
No, it was beautiful. It was an amazing reconnection. Yes, it still is. But no, it was an amazing reconnection, and that's why I knew at that point I was like, God, like it's really gonna be difficult to be Ronald's friend. If he's not gonna be my husband, then I can't be his friend.
Now, when you first saw me, when we reconnected, was it like?
You just wanted to press that button.
I had to do it. I had to.
Do you see what I gotta do with y'all? Yes, it was. It was great. Like I remember turning that corner and seeing you at the table. Yeah. The biggest smile on your face. Yeah. Got up, pulled out my chair, wanted to make sure if I wanted something to drink.
I may know a little something.
But I didn't, I wasn't like a coffee drinker. Yeah. Still not to this day. Like I'm a tea girl, okay? Y'all see my videos. But, I did try it because you said, hey, I can get you something I think you like. And then you gave it. I was like, this is great. Mm-hmm. Of course we don't drink that no more for various reasons, but we're not gonna get into that. But my husband still makes delicious coffee that he enjoys, and I make tea. Yes. That's how it's been. Mm-hmm. But we're doing a lot of stuff before the marriage, so unfortunately I feel like marriage isn't at the forefront.
Yeah.
Unless it's really on someone's heart to do it. It could depend on upbringing. It could depend on their relationship with God. It could depend on the environment around them.
Yeah.
Because society, I can't even say it depends on society, because society is not for it, which is why you see the divorce rate increasing.
Yeah.
Couples are giving up too quickly. So to answer your question, definitely no.
Definitely no. Yeah. I agree with you. Of course, with society, it's just like it's different now, as we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of situations when it comes to that, like we talk about, we started doing a lot of things before marriage.
Yeah.
And you have your various reasons, you fall deeply, you fall in love. We're not trying to say you're bad or you're evil because you do that. We did it,
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? A lot of that time spent kind of prepared us for marriage, because we kind of got to see how each other reacts to certain things, and just kind of feel each other's vibe, in certain things, because I know one thing with me, just getting married, which I know that's how we're taught, you get married, then you stay together and you do all that stuff. You get a place together. But
that's the right way.
That's the right way, But I will admit, part of me, I wanted to know, okay, what is it going to be like to wake up to Monique? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. How is her breakfast, in the morning? How is her dinner, at night? You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's food to tons, okay?
I know. I'm talking about the food right now. I know. Hey, that's important to me. I'm sorry. Okay? It's important, okay? All right? But these are things that you think about, when she's having a bad day at work. How is her vibe, when she come home, and can I be able to handle that? You know what I'm saying? So I am glad we did it the way we did, because we got to really know each other on that personal level, like very personal level. And I wouldn't necessarily say do that with everybody, but if it's someone that like, hey, I want to marry this woman, or you want to marry that man, it's not a bad idea, to see that type of things, even though we taught the right way. But that's what helped me, kind of just lock it down. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. So that did it for us. But
yeah, the thing is, you were at my place. I would say your place. Yes. It was kind of like back and forth, back and forth, because we just always like wanted to be together. You were following me home from work, making sure I got home safely, and and just making sure I was always good. You just always wanted to have eyes on me, and I always just wanted to be in your space. You used to
put them eyes on you.
And I just always wanted to be in his space, so it was always just so great. And I used to work a lot. I used to work like 12-hour shifts sometimes. So just the time when I wasn't working, I just wanted to be with you. I just wanted to be with you. So whether it was just going out somewhere or relaxing at the house, like I was always in your space. So it was just hard to like. We were like glue. Okay, so once God brought us together, we just couldn't be away from each other. So that's how it was kind of like, okay, we're always together. We can't be away from each other. So let's just do what we need to do. So that's why we did the courthouse. For those that don't know that, because we were wasting money. We're always at each other's place. So it's kind of like, all right, let's come together now and get a place, right? By God's grace, we're still in the same place, right?
Yeah,
still in the same house.
Look at that,
y'all. But this is the place where we came together, got the place, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, we just need to do, and our parents were in our ears. Of course, anybody that knows my parents, okay? And of course my husband's parents too. It's kind of like, all right guys, you got the house, so do what y'all know to do. So that's it. That's why we ended up doing the courthouse wedding, simply because we got the place. So it's kind of like, all right, let's just finalize it in marriage before God. And then after that, we had the public ceremony where we invited, family and friends. So that's why we did it that way. That's
great.
Yeah, and that was our journey.
Yeah.
Now, a big question that just came to me.
Wait, it's not on script, so you can't be just throwing questions in.
But I just want to see your thoughts. Like, we have kids. Like, would you advise them the same?
What, with our kids?
Yeah.
That is a great question. No, I probably wouldn't advise them the same.
Yeah.
I would be like my parents. Like, you need to get married. And my parents' journey, I was at my parents' wedding, by the way. So a lot of people don't know that. But my parents were high school sweethearts. So they've been together forever. And so I was actually like getting ready to turn 1 at the wedding. So it's probably like literally a couple of days from 1. So that was my parents' perspective. They got married after, of course, I was born, but they had already been together for forever. So, but yeah, I would advise our children to the same. You need to be married before you move in. That would be my answer to that every time. So now, when you get grown, you do what you do, but your parents are going to still have that perspective, even though our journey was different.
Right.
I know that's what they're going to say. They're going to be like, well, mom and daddy, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish my parents was like that. It was like, yo, you having children,
Yeah.
But y'all did too now.
But at the end of the day, you want to advise them in the will of the Lord, right?
Yeah. Of course, always.
Even though we didn't have that path, right? Mm-hmm. Eventually we made it right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We made it
that
right.
That was in our mind already. It's already.
Yeah,
working.
it was always there. It was always there. And that doesn't mean God isn't with you, okay? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, God is pushing us to do what we need to do. Yeah. Right? So we always knew we needed to do that, which is why we did.
Yeah.
So I would definitely tell our kids the same. Yeah. Like, hey, this is what we did, but to keep it 100 with you, you should definitely get married before doing married folk stuff, like getting a house and all that. Yeah. All right. So I would advise that just because of our experience, right? So, of course, we're going to advise that. Now, they ain't going to do what they want to do, okay? Because they going to be grown, okay? But we're here to advise them at the end of the day, the path and the will of the Lord, right? So, not saying that we were perfect angels and that we did that. And, of course, we're going to share our experience with them. Because you gotta share your experience with the kids. You have to be 100% with them, and they will love you for that. Because here they have an example now of what you did, and now this is what y'all did. This is what I know God wants me to do. Let me do what I know that I need to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you feel we waited long enough, to get married? Because it was like this, everything was in place.
I think that we did, just because I know for me, I just knew that you were my husband, and like God revealed that on so many levels and so many ways that you checked off all the boxes and some.
Okay. I was waiting for that and some, Okay. Y'all hear it.
Okay.
Y'all hear it.
You did, and still do. And, I just knew that. So I had been through a lot with previous relationships. So I knew what I wasn't going to settle for. And I knew, what the red flags were and just what I was looking for. I was looking for a king, okay? I was not looking to be, you know what I mean? Look at you. Just someone who is on your playing field, okay? Someone who is on your page of the book. right? Like not several pages ahead of me, not several pages behind me. We're doing this we're writing this story together. Mm-hmm. All right. He's king, I'm queen. We're on this beautiful love story together.
Oh yeah.
And we talk about everything, we share everything, we're writing everything down together in this story of life together. That's what I wanted to have. Mm-hmm. And if I had any hesitation at all, it wouldn't be. But I didn't have any hesitation. Like literally the words "I love you" came out of my mouth without me even realizing it, y'all. Like, you remember that day. I know.
Beat me to
on the way to the gym.
You rushed in. You know what I'm saying?
It just came out.
Rush in. It just came out. I was like, wait a minute now.
It just came out. And I remember before going inside, and you get off the phone. I was on the phone with him on the way. I'm like, all right, so I'm here. I got to go. I love you. And it was
that's
like,
exactly how I was looking like.
It was like, whoa, I just dropped the L-bomb. And we literally were talking for like, it wasn't long.
It wasn't even long. I don't even think it was official yet either.
It wasn't official yet. Yeah.
It wasn't even official.
But it came out. Like, I fell in love with him so quickly and so deeply on like a totally different level. And it just came out without me even realizing that it did. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I just said that. And then you're like, what? Then you were like, I love you too. And I'm like, don't say it back because I said it. Okay. That really came from my heart because
now it's a married couple now. No, I'm just going to put, I know I'm going a little PG, past PG-13, probably rated R. But was this before getting the goodies?
Really, man? This was before.
It was before that.
It was before.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
so
like we
you really had that, because some people you have to have that experience. They feel
had that connection, the physical connection.
But this was all before
no,
that.
This
so that's
was
why
before.
I made that point. Yeah, like that's deep.
We had just been talking, and we hadn't even gotten to like connect in that way yet.
Yeah,
we just it was just talking and just having that conversation. We were always on the phone, just trying to get those times to really see each other.
You kind of pretty much felt me in a sense spiritually. We didn't even really have that much time like one-on-one together.
No,
just the conversations. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those conversations are very important because guess what? That's communication. We spent a lot of time on the phone getting to know each other in a deeply way. We talked about God. We talked about things that we were going through, things that we have been through, past relationships. Like we were just clearing the board of like, this is what's happening. And that really, did a lot for us coming into our relationship. So
absolutely.
No, that's very special. Yeah, I remember you jumping the gun and dropping the bomb on me, and
so he said it right after, y'all, but I told him, I was like, don't say it because I said it. But then he was like, no, I do. And I was like, oh, okay.
Look at you. Right? I'm trying to steal the thunder all the time.
It's been, just deep love, deep kisses ever since. Okay.
Well, you got to throw the kisses in there. What I got to do with anything? See what I'm saying? You're telling all your business now. Okay, I'm right. I know. I'm just joking.
Hey, it's been 10 years.
It's been 10 years. Yeah.
10 years. And we doing this. All right.
Oh, yeah.
It's still spicy. Just know that. Okay.
And then, of course, my answer to that question, I was in a point where in my life, I was looking for my wife. I had been through a lot myself. And, when you in and out of relationships, all this other stuff that men, as we put our find ourselves getting into, you get to that point where you just like, I need something that's gonna, just kind of hold me down a lot stronger, something that's gonna be real, something that I can kind of hold on to, and I was ready. I felt I was ready. In my mind, I was ready. And so when we connected, it was kind of like I had already was like, God, I'm holding on until you, show me, how you want me to move forward. And he revealed you in a special way. And naturally, I had some doors that had to be closed. But, we closed those doors as soon as possible. And we were able to move forward, with the plans God had for us. So,
yes. I remember not wanting to move forward until doors were closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but being respectful and
No, everything I respect that. I respect it.
And yeah, the way that everything happened and transpired, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And definitely spirit led, because I know that in that particular moment when God brought us together, because I had come out of a situation several months prior, but I remember telling God, I was like, I'm gonna at least wait a year, right, before getting into another situation or another relationship. It hadn't even been like a full year. Okay, I say that to say that when God is ready for you to connect with the person that He's bringing on that path for you, it's never gonna be on your timing. Okay, certain doors might have to be closed. Okay. Yeah. Or doors may have been closed prior and you're just kind of wondering what other door is going to open.
Right.
And that's the situation that happened with us. And God brought us together in that time. And it was perfect timing. It couldn't have been more perfect than that. Right. And yes, it's not a Bible verse, by the way. It was something said by a pope. But it said, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. And it means that inexperienced or ignorant people get involved in situations that wiser people would avoid.
Yeah.
So, yes. Gotcha. Not in the Bible. Okay. We take every single verbiage or adage that we hear and say, that's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. That's in the Bible.
My mama used to say that's in the Bible. Well, my mama used to say it all the time, though. Yeah. So that's why I felt like it was in the Bible. But it's not in the Bible. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yes.
Yes. Is there anything you would change, in how God brought us together in the way that He did? Is there anything that you would change?
No. I would honestly want to meet you earlier.
Took my answer. I knew you
like in college or something.
I knew you was going to do that.
But, maybe I wasn't ready.
Yeah. We talk about that all the time. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I was ready to receive you.
Like I met Monique through one of my frat brother, my line brother. So one of my main brothers, we were roommates and they used to study together at our dining room table. And so I, saw her in passing, when I was on my way to rehearsals and different things that I had going on. And I used to always speak, but that was it. We didn't see each other outside of that space. And so we always think about that. Like, what if God allowed us to connect earlier, like in college and stuff? And we always go back to that. We don't think we were ready, knew we weren't ready, not for a relationship like this, and how God has, showed us, on this journey, who He has made us to become together. So we don't think we were ready. I know I wasn't. Yeah. So. But it would have been such a journey, though.
It would have been.
It would have been, huh?
Probably would have had about 10 kids.
See, she always say that, too. So maybe that was why, too. We have too many kids, man.
We have 3.
We do have 3 kids, though. That's a long way from 10.
But I'm just saying, if we met 10 years ago.
A kid a year. Probably had a kid before marriage too. That's the other thing. So that brings on a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, you already know.
Just telling too much.
Your parents, will be happy with me. All right, I'm trying to keep a little piece. Okay. My parents, they love me. I love them more. Shout out to my mom and dad in Mouchette, though.
Yes, shout out to mom and dad. And mom and dad too. So,
we gotta give a shout out to the parents.
We love our parents.
We do. They teach us a lot, taught us a lot, still teaching us teaching us today.
Still teaching us too.
So how long do you think someone should wait to get married? That was one of my questions on the list. I'm like, that's a good one. How long do you think?
This is a good one for you, especially as the man.
Oh yeah. Because some women try to step in them shoes too. I don't appreciate that.
I know.
I'm
let the man be the man, right? But I think it's a conversation that needs to be had on both sides. Especially when you're entering a relationship. Like, what is the purpose of this relationship?
Right.
Is this a serious relationship? Are we headed towards marriage and starting a family? Are we walking in the will of the Lord? Right? Or are we just playing house, doing everything that marriage has, right? And not sealing the deal, right? Are we doing all of that and not sealing the deal before the Lord? Like marriage is just sealing the deal before the Lord, coming together before the Lord to have the blessing of the Lord on your marriage. That's what it is. I'm not saying that you're not blessed. I'm not saying that, your relationship is not blessed, right? But before the Lord, right, you have that covenant now, right? There's a covenant. And now you're signing a piece of paper, right? So it's not just a piece of paper. It's coming before that Lord under that covenant agreement. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Verbally with witnesses. Oh, yeah. Right? You're not doing that in a relationship. You're just together. Okay? So I think that the conversation has to be had on both sides, what the expectations are from the relationship and how you both want to proceed and move forward. And if the objective is marriage, then it shouldn't take too long to get there. Yeah. A lot of people feel like just like a business. I mean, it's not a business. I'm just saying, I'm using a business example. Just like a business, a lot of people feel like they have to have X, Y, Z before they start the business, right? You got to have this camera, right? You got to have this lighting. You got to have the software. You got to have a certain amount of dollars in the bank. You got to have the building set up, right? You got to have all these things. And then you think about it, that list never ends. You will never start the business. To me, I feel like with marriage, it's the same thing. Like, do you feel like you got to have all these ducks in a row, right? I gotta have this in my bank account. I gotta make sure this is checked off. Gotta have my degree. Gotta have the house. Gotta have the car. Gotta have all these things. And I understand as a man why you will want to have those things set up so that you bring the wife in and everything is already set up. I'm just saying that if you're in this journey of life together, you don't necessarily have to have that. You guys can do it together. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. You can come together and get a home. You can come together and get a car. You can come together. Now, I understand, what if children come in? It's going to set things back. I understand that. I'm just saying that you don't necessarily have to have that. Now, if it is your goal to have that, go for it. I'm just saying you don't necessarily have to have that. So I think that when you're with someone, you need to let them know the expectations so that they're not hanging around for 20 years before you put a ring on it. Because that is such a disrespect of somebody's time.
Wow. Okay.
It really is. It's like, here I am, I'm with you for 20 years, and you're not making an official commitment to me before the Lord. I don't know how many brothers I'm not even worth that. Like, I'm not even worth a commitment before the Lord. Yeah. Like, we doing everything else. I'm giving you everything else. Yeah. But what I'm asking you for is a commitment now before the Lord, right? That's all I'm asking you for. You can't do that.
Why you think brothers are scared to make that commitment?
Because I feel like it will kind of, for them, maybe, because this is what I'm on the other side of things, that it may kind of tie them down. Yeah. And they may feel like they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. And they kind of just want to still be able to do whatever they want to do and not have that 100% commitment. But I feel like you're already 100% committed. Like, you're in the relationship already. So, I mean, I guess they feel like maybe I could just get up and walk away. And
that's probably
versus getting divorced, you kind of have to have an attorney. You got your assets tied up, your businesses tied up, your bank accounts tied up, all of that. The kids, if you got kids, tied up. Now I have to, pay fees. What are those fees again? That the custody fees or whatever it is. You got to pay. So it's like, I feel like maybe they just feel like it's less work, maybe. Yeah. But if you're with somebody, and you know that's a good woman and she deserves that, that's the least you could do. Because when you give a woman that, especially when she's giving you everything, best believe she's going to continue to give you everything and more. Everything and more, because you chose to respect her and give her the title that she deserved, which is wife.
Yeah. Copy.
Right. It's like if she's doing all the wife things, right? You're getting it every night. You're getting food, right? You're getting your laundry done. You're getting your house clean. Okay, now she done had your kids. It's like she deserves to have that title of wife.
Yeah, I'm going to go on and say not every woman is like you, my love. Okay? So we're going to have to, let's backtrack just a little bit. So,
okay.
All right. So men, one, they are looking for a wife. You know, most men are, but then you also have a lot of men that just they're not ready for that, you know. They're not ready to settle down with one woman. They don't know if that is the woman.
But that should be made known at the beginning of the relationship so that the time of the woman is not wasted.
It should be, but that's just not the way it always works. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't.
We can go back and forth. Let's go.
It doesn't always work like that. You know, I know with us, it was kind of like I've been through so many situations that I knew what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I came into the relationship like, yo, you're not going to be my wife, I don't even want to waste your time.
Yeah.
Because to me, you were a great woman. You know what I'm saying? So that was my perspective. I don't want to waste your time.
And I appreciate that. I respect that.
I was about business about that. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's not always the case. A lot of times it depends on where you are. Your age, you know, has a big thing with it. You know, when you're in your 20s, you know, a lot of people get married and make it, you know, in their 20s, but a lot of people don't because you have still a long life to live. A lot of things happen in your 20s, you know. And so for those that didn't necessarily, you know, have that where they were single or just dating in their 20s, I'm noticing now, you know, that they are trying to do that now because the kids are grown, you know, so they're able to enjoy, they're able to party now because their kids are older, going to college, maybe in high school. Whereas someone like us, you know, we were in college in our 20s, you were in, you know, graduate school, pharmacy school. And so, you know, we got to, you know, we did the partying, we did all that stuff, you know, in the 20s. So now in our 40s, it's kind of like, I don't did all that. I don't have to do all that anymore. Right. I don't party my behind off too much in college and after, you know. So So it really depends on that individual. You know what I'm saying? I know with us, it was kind of like, I was ready. But a lot of men, you find they maybe they're not ready, or maybe they think they're ready, but when they start to get really close, they get cold feet. So it just really depends on their mentality. Having a job was a really big thing. A great job was a really big thing before even moving forward to something like that. Yeah. And naturally, like you stated, there was a lot of things on that list that I wish I would have had, but I didn't. But I wasn't going to allow that to kind of stir me away from moving forward, because I felt in my spirit like, hey, if God wants me to move forward, he's going to allow everything to fall into place. But our situation was a lot different. You know, you were a pharmacist, and I became an educator when we got together. I was an advisor at first. And so the educator, when I transitioned over to the education, you know, I felt I had, a lot more money then, but it was still a long ways off from what you were making. So naturally, that in my mind, it affected me. I know we've talked about this, but that was just kind of like, wow, you know, you make a lot more, you know, like, where do I fit in this? And I didn't think about that like that all the time. I let love and let God lead me into that situation. But that was in my mind, though. You know, I would say, you know, I dealt with that a lot. And we often think about, you know, like, it was a lot of times, you know, I'll tell you all, it was a lot of times that we would go on dates and, you know, I necessarily didn't have the funds necessarily to pay for the date. Or maybe we were going out with friends. Monique will just put money in my pocket just so I have for that, you know, so I don't have to say, hey, you got this, or she would have to pull it out. She would do that. So when we were dating and I'm seeing these things that she thinks about, just being my woman, being my queen, I was like, this is God sent. The fact that, because it didn't matter to me, but she wanted to make sure that wasn't, something that I would even think about. She just made sure it happened. I didn't even have to ask. And she was like, hey, put this in your wallet for tonight. And I'm like, wow, okay, love, you don't have to do that. She's like, no, just put it in your wallet so you'll have it for dinner tonight. And I'm like, wow. So the fact that she was already thinking like that, she was already thinking like my wife, that was just like so special. So it's a lot of things that you did that I just like, it capitalized on you becoming my wife. You know what I'm saying? And so I saw that in you, and I knew that's what I wanted. A lot of guys, I would say, they're not necessarily ready. As we know, we've seen some guys that waited 10 years and it still didn't work out. We've seen situations like that, so which is unfortunate, but I don't agree with you keeping a woman waiting too long. With our situation, I was one, like, for some reason, I don't know if I just get bored or I just feel like I'm not motivated, but after 2 years, most relationships of mine would expire, or they would just start to kind of fall down the tunnel, as you would call it. So when we got together, it was just so fresh. Everything was so fresh and so new. And we were just like, we just felt deeply for each other, that even in the 2-year mark, it was just like, I want to marry this woman. I wasn't thinking about a relationship ending. I was like, I'm ready to move forward. And so naturally it was quick, but it was on time, because that's what God had. We didn't want to waste any time. We were already at that age that was kind of like, why not? We already doing everything. Yeah,
exactly. Because we were in our 30s. So it's amazing, because I know you always talk about the whole going out and me putting money in your wallet, that kind of thing. Of course. I don't forget that. Just fast forward to, unbeknownst to us, right, where we would have a child that was born with complications, where I had to be his primary caregiver and step away from my job, right? So now I no longer have an income, and we have my husband's income. And going from, thinking about things and helping my husband out in the season where we were dating, to now in the season where we're married, he's taking care of things. You see what I'm saying? So I just say that to say, like, you just don't know how the tables will turn, right? Yeah. And if you already know that you're taking care of each other, especially in that season of dating, because that's what it was. One hand wash the other. You are doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. We're taking care of each other. Then, of course, in that season of marriage, that's going to continue, right? Yeah. My husband, of course, is holding everything down in this season of our lives, especially as I had to step away, right, to do what needed to be done for our child and for our children, because we're still doing what we need to do for them. But I say that all to say is, what you see in the prior of things, right, is what you should see in the marriage of things.
Oh yeah. Of course.
So of course the way that things happen for us will happen different for somebody else. But you already know that when God does something, you already see the signs of that. Because with our situation and the way that things happen, clearly it was the Lord bringing us together. Right. Because we knew each other 10 years prior to getting together. Hey, so it's been 20 years.
20 years.
Because we've been together 10 years. Yeah. And I know you 10 years before we got together.
Yeah, that's true. We already talked about
that. So it's been 20 years. Wow.
Ain't that something? Wow. Yeah.
So we've known each other for 20 years, guys. So it's just when God is ready for y'all to connect, you're going to connect with that person, and you're going to know. Matter of fact, you're not going to want to be without the person. So if you have that feeling with somebody, especially as the man, go ahead and do what you need to do. Okay? Don't extend it out to where you're getting that question from her. Okay, it's been 4 years, are we going to, make this official before the Lord? You know,
start giving you the cold shoulder.
I'm just saying, fellas, like, if you know that this lady is from God and you can't live your life without this person, and you have to have this person a part of your life, just go ahead and do what you know to do. So don't wait too long.
And from my perspective, I know we want to, as men, we want to have it all together. We are never going to have it all together. So don't let that hold you back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. On both sides.
And it's not a bad thing that you don't have it all together. As y'all know my story, I didn't have it all together. Still don't have it all together.
Same here.
But don't let that hold you back from your blessing, because that queen that's in your life, if God put her there, she's going to be a blessing to you. You're going to find yourself doing more in business or doing more, to make more money, when you all come together. One thing that I loved about us too, which I learned this even when we were, married before kids, was whatever money comes into the house, it goes into the pot. So whatever bills need to be paid, whatever needs to be done, we're discussing everything. And so I saw how my wife handled that as being the one that made the most, in that season, and how she was just still, it went in the pot. Whatever I added was a big deal in that pot, no matter how small it was a big deal. To the point now that even when I get a check, my wife is not necessarily getting a check from an employer, but as I get my checks from my employer, I'm saying, yeah, babe, we get paid. Sometimes I'll say that we get paid on Friday, so we're going to go shopping, just include her. So that's the way you got to think when it comes to your spouse. You're not separate. You're one, know, and I think a lot of relationships fail to understand that. When we come together, we're one. So if it happens to me, it happens to her. Yeah. If she's going through things, I'm going through things. I'm trying to lift her up so we can be good, on one accord. And so we need more of that too. You know what I'm saying? We need to realize that we're all one. So yeah.
That's great.
You like that?
Yeah.
Right. That's a good one. Let's go.
So would you put a time frame on it? Would you say like 1 year, 2 years?
I wouldn't even put a time frame on it. I would just say when you both are ready. Now, I will say get to know each other for at least a year if you didn't know each other prior. Yeah, at least a year, date and just enjoy each other's company. Go out on dates, party, whatever it is you like to do. Go to church. Don't forget that.
Yes.
But yes, get to know each other for at least a year. And then you all know, God will let you know when it's time. And I knew God let me know in a special way. And I was already looking for that special ring. And it was just, that was even a story and a journey in all itself as well. So, but yeah, so it's a beautiful blessing when you find your wife and you all get to come together as one, because you would not see life the same, when you're able to connect with someone that special way. So yeah.
Love it.
Love it, love it, love it. I know we already, we had some more questions, but I guess we may have to do another one. You know what I'm saying? We already at the hour mark.
Okay.
We might have to.
We'll come back and finish up the questions, y'all.
I don't want to hold y'all too long on this session. But yes, you do have a wonderful Bible verse for this session, though, right?
Right.
Yes, I was like, we have probably about 5 more questions, but, we may have to do a part 2, or we'll figure it out,
Yeah, we can do a part 2 because we still probably have half the questions. So this episode's Bible verse is from Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. All right, so you get that extra favor.
Extra.
When you find that wife, okay? So if you know she's the wife, go ahead and ring it up. All right, so you get that extra favor. You're already favored and blessed, but it says right here you obtain favor from the Lord. So go ahead and get that favor from the Lord and over your relationship.
True story. I'm telling y'all, testimony. Telling y'all, it is nothing like that favor when you get your wife. All right, that's just truly a blessing. So hopefully this episode did bless you as it blessed us to speak. It was really nice. Really nice connecting like this. So prayerfully it bless you. We continue to lift you and your families up in the name of Jesus. All right, we got to put that Jesus on it. We lift you all up in the name of Jesus and pray that you have a blessed weekend and week ahead and all that's coming for you. May you be blessed. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in once again.